What's up, y'all? It's your girl, the Authentic Empress, and I just wanted to make this video regarding something that I've been mentioning in small groups, but I haven't particularly done a video regarding this topic, and it's about leaders and the true divine nature of how a leader should be. Because you have leaders who, put themselves in these leadership positions solely for self-gain, without intention to create or assist others in embodying the leader energy that's within them, right? But essentially that's what the goal is supposed to be. If you're a leader of divinity, like if you're someone of divine authentic light, then as a leader or having a leadership position, your goal should be to add to those people who are following you or whatever, but add to the leadership essence within them so that they can lead their own lives. It's not even about them leading large portions or bodies of people in different, aspects of life or whatever, like some leaders may be ordained to do. However, you still have to lead, a group of people in some, level of frequency, whether that be your own family, your own legacy, you know what I'm saying? You being a role model to the people that's surrounding you, like children or teenagers and stuff like that. So ideally, regardless, you still want to your intention should be the intention of, okay, I don't want these people to just follow me. I want these people to see, the leadership within them as well, and to tap into that energy and embody that energy, right? That's what, that's a part of healing and truly ascending your spiritual rank within yourself and within your own family or bloodline. So I'm going to pull some cards on this, because something that I noticed, even though people manage to break free from idolizing, certain beings or deities or whatever, like Jesus and, stuff like that, it's still levels to this stuff. Like, for example, I made a post on Facebook recently, and I was saying, just because you've managed to break free from, recognizing the karmics in your family and your past friends and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that, so you deleted all these people, you know what I'm saying, and all these people from your hometown, whatever the case may be, and now, you've come into this community, this conscious community, right? And you just automatically assume that all these people support you, all these people are going to care about you, all these people get you, and No. It's levels to this shit. So just like there was your regular, everyday narcissist, before you learn what narcissism was or came into some aspect of narcissism through the people that was around you, that doesn't mean, or that doesn't exclude spiritual narcissists in the conscious community. Yes, there are going to be some people who support you, but there's also going to be people who do not support you. Even though they masquerade themselves as light, it's the same thing. It's just different dimensions of it. It's just different levels to this shit. And it's like you're supposed to continuously grow and develop in your discernment and your understanding of this. And people vampirized off your vulnerability and your naivety, to this fact. People are very much aware that, these people that come into this whole conscious and spiritual communities on these social networks and, platforms, they're still, infiltrators. Mind you, there are many false prophets. There are many false prophets. There are many infiltrators. People masquerading themselves are light when they are truly dark in nature and demonic, right? Taking advantage of people's lack of foresight and actually applying that wisdom that they've gained from, that first round, with it being your family members or your past friends and stuff like that, taking that wisdom and applying it moving forward. You don't just experience that, gain the wisdom, and then just sit it aside and think that just because, you've come in touch with some people, maybe they don't eat meat, or these people do yoga, or these people eat like this, or they eat like that, or these people are aware of these historic truths, and whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean that, these people, you're still not going to encounter people who are karmic. That doesn't mean that just because a person learns, how to behave accordingly, or display, do these emotional displays, that they see around them, or, these universal emotions and stuff like that. I mean, even they teach that in school. They teach that in psychology about universal emotions. Do you understand? Sociopathy is an individual who only models social constructs and social behaviors of those around him just to basically blend in. Even though this is not their authentic selves that they're embodying, this is not anything coming from internal or spiritual. They're simply mimicking what they see, or how they see other people govern themselves in order to make other people comfortable with who they are. That's what that is. So, in essence, it's even though, you are going to be a student of things, you're also going to, be required to be a teacher as well. You're not learning these things. You're not learning these. That's crazy. So we have father and guide underneath that. You're not a student to life itself to just remain a student. You're a student, once again, your experiences, being a student to your experiences and your encounters and, information or whatever the case may be. You're a student so that you can, upgrade. You could father and be a guide to your legacy to other individuals. Instead of, just letting it be null and void, right? These are things, you're supposed to apply throughout your life. You're supposed to continuously grow within your spiritual self, ascend within your spiritual self, and recognize the God within you, recognize the authentic light within you, to understand that you too, can be a leader. You have leadership potential as well. You're not supposed to always remain a follower. And there's a lot of people still stuck in that energy of looking for a hero, looking for someone to rescue them, looking for, another Jesus, repeating that idolatry type energy. They've done it with celebrities. They always find somebody to worship and just give their all to, instead of recognizing attributes about that person which is also within them or can be conjured within their own souls. Don't you understand? Those same people that you're, worshiping and idolizing and stuff like that, they've gone through struggles. They've gone through, harsh experiences. They've gone through some of the similar things, if not worse, than the things that you've encountered. And they've managed to, rise, the phoenix rising from their experiences, utilizing that wisdom and that knowledge that they've gained, that discernment development, applying that to their life and life situations moving forward. And not only that, but sharing and expressing that knowledge and that wisdom with others. So even though they were a student at a potential time and still are a student, they've managed to become a teacher as well, a leader. So I'm going to pull some cards on this. Divine and loving ancestors, Most High, what message do you have regarding leaders create or assist others into becoming leaders? What messages do you have regarding this topic? There's too many cards. What messages do you have regarding this topic? Divine and loving ancestors, Most High, what message do you have regarding this topic on leadership? What message do you have regarding this topic on leadership? What messages do you have regarding this topic on leadership, divine and loving ancestors? What messages do you have regarding this topic on leadership? Look on the bottom of the deck. God. Ideally, okay, so let me tell you something about idolatry. It's not that you worship the sun. You acknowledge the light and the divine light, right? And reflection of the God, the Most High, the authentic light, that source, right? That's reflected through the sun. You don't worship the sun. With that being said, you don't get so caught up in worshiping and idolizing the messenger, but instead recognizing the God within them and attributing that that praise and that acknowledgement or whatever, that admiration to the God within them, that source of light, that authentic light that's within them, understanding that you too have this within you and can grow and ascend and build and grow upon this light within you and reflect these same things, right? So let me go. So the cards that came out was Lover, Rebel, and Avenger. I don't know if you can see it. So once again, let me read Lover. Light attributes: great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Shadow attributes: obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Self-destructive devotion. So being so devoted, to an image, right, of someone or something, and this being destructive as a result because of what you're worshiping, right? You're misplacing this this obsessive passion, right, with the messenger opposed to the God that's within that messenger, the Most High, that light, that source of authentic divine light. Great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of something or someone. So needing to have that unbridled appreciation of God, the authentic, light, divine being, the Most High, divinity. And then we got Rebel. Light attributes: challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attributes: rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Yeah. So when we see this energy reflected in people who stand in truth and they don't buy into all of these illusions and these delusions and these programmings and, these many layers of veils of deception and fallacy and falsehood, we could misplace, where we should be giving that idolatry-like energy, right? Because understand, you can be this way as well if you embrace the authentic light within you. If you stand in truth, if you sow authenticity, you shall reap authenticity. If you sow courage, if you sow temperaments, if you sow balance and harmony and truth, you will too reap these things. If you sow divinity, you will reap divinity. If you sow healing, you will reap healing. If you sow trauma transmutation, you will reap that. You will reap that. But understand, if you're still sowing things that are of a superficial nature, you're going to reap, you're going to reap that. You're going to reap that in your behaviors, right? Because these things are deep. They run deep psychologically and spiritually. Drunkenness does not only pertain to drugs or alcohol. Drunkenness is like overindulgence. Drunkenness, addiction could be, to things outside of, what we typically hear about, food and, like I said, drugs, alcohol, whatever the case may be. But this could also be toxic behaviors, imbalanced emotional displays, distorted telepathy with the divine, idolatry. You have to keep in mind, how our lives, especially, being influenced by Western culture, and European, culture, how our lives have been, intentionally structured to put us in an energy of idolatry and scatter us further away from the truth of understanding that we're supposed to recognize the reflection of God, the Most High, the authentic, being, the universe within these individuals, right? Then we got Avenger. Light attributes. Desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute. Resorting to violence in the name of a cause. What I'm getting from this card with the world and all of this water-like energy, this blue energy and this yellow energy, enlightenment, intuition, discernment, right? Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. So understanding, that you too can embody this Avenger energy. That you do. You have this energy. But you have to have that inner knowing as well. You have to have that trust within the light that's within you. The voice of your soul. And respecting others, who embody this energy as well. This energy of truth and enlightenment and intuition, and rapport with the divine. Recognizing that, right? But not being, misled by old behaviors, traditional behaviors such as idolatry. This is not to downplay anybody. Now, like I said, it's one thing to show appreciation and love and acknowledgement, of someone who embodies, that light and divine energy, that authentic divinity energy. It's another thing to attribute this, so much to an individual and not recognize it within your own self. Not recognize the God that's within you. God, light attributes, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Thank you, Most High. Thank you, Most High. Recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So definitely getting out of this energy of looking for a savior outside of you and not recognizing that savior potential within your own self. Because a person can guide you from their experiences and their wisdom and this, that, and the third. But it takes, willpower from you. Trust within your own will and within yourself to be able to bring this forward, to bring this energy forward. Shadow attributes. Despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. So again, I know that many people may be used to encountering this type of energy of God, this low vibrational energy of that God energy, right? That devil energy of people resorting to cruelty and abusing their power to control people, right? It's so thank you God. So just a few nights ago, Criminal Minds had a marathon on. I've always been a Criminal Minds fan, and there was an episode about this hero in the community, this guy who he was the owner of this youth center, and he would take abandoned or misled, misguided, or whatever you want to call it, or he would take youth, only boys, under his wing to so-called, guide them in a better direction and, kind of serve as a surrogate father and this, that, and a third, like as a leader, right? And Morgan, which Morgan is he works for the FBI, behavior analysis unit. These people are a very specialized unit, right? And visiting his hometown, he will always visit a youth center because of, in a sense, a guilty conscience. Because he was holding on to a secret regarding the leader of that youth center, which these boys was turning up dead. And, people was trying to frame him as if he was responsible. So it ended up, being that he had to speak his truth, his secret of, what this so-called leader or hero of the community was really about. And it came to find out that, because there was this boy, he would that so-called leader, he would pick out a boy from all the boys that he took under his wing, because it was like a youth home for these boys, a youth center, right? And he would see the light, that heart, right? That divine heart, that divine energy, the light and the potential within a particular boy, because he would teach them football. He had them all play football as a part of them, like, I guess, growing or whatever. And he would isolate that particular kid and put him on a pedestal. But in the background, taking him to a cabin, giving him alcohol, taking him on these retreats, without anybody's knowing, outside of what the boys, outside of who the boys share this information with. But in actuality, he was a damn pedophile. He was a pedophile. So basically, him making these promises to get these boys, out the hood and through college, if they do what he say, this, that, and the third, it came with a cost. It came with a price. So he was molesting these boys in the background. This is what he did to Derek Morgan in the episode. Well, in his story, this is what he did to Derek Morgan. This is how, he progressed. Or this is, the accusations that this man claimed that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be who you are today, when in actuality, because of who Derek Morgan is within his heart and that light, that divine light that's within him, that's what got him to the behavioral analysis unit. That's what got him, to succeeding and achieving the successes that he did, not this damn man, right? So once again, that abuse of leadership, using power to control people. This is what this man was really doing. Even though everybody on the outside, because of his secrets being kept, hidden out of the fear, right? The fear and all this stuff that he held over these boys' head, right? You won't succeed without me. You won't succeed unless you allow me to do this, da 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 da, right? abusing boys sexually, and not only that, killing the boys who wanted to speak up about it. And then trying to frame someone else, willing to lie, willing to steal, willing to kill. Don't you know that this man killed the boy in this particular episode? The boy was a Taurus. And the Taurus, you know, the guy, the young boy at the time who was on the pedestal, who was basically the younger version of Derek Morgan, right? And when he was too in this position at this youth center. That's why he would always keep in contact with these boys, and with this particular boy that this so-called leader had made, you know, had put on the pedestal, had, you know, named the young Simba, basically. He will always keep in contact with him and let him know that there's anything that he needs to talk to him about, that he feel like he can't talk to nobody else about, reach out to him and talk to him. Because he knew the depths of the darkness of this individual, this false prophet, this false leader. Right? And, you know, this young boy, he shared, you know, the reality of what was going on behind closed doors to his friend. And that friend, you know, that Taurus, this man that hosted this youth center, he ended up killing this little boy. Not only did he kill the boy, he had the audacity to drive his mother to the police station to file a report, and then had the nerve to go along with the accusations that Derek Morgan was responsible for these killings just because he was the last one seen at the youth center. Because every time he visits home, he visits the youth center because his conscience, because he's aware, right? He was aware of the essence of what this really was about. And he held on to these secrets out of fear, out of embarrassment, right? But understanding that, you know, it was better for him to speak the truth. That if he would have spoke the truth, you know, he could have prevented, you know, the deaths of these children. He could have prevented these boys being molested and being traumatized. So again, a leader is not going to, you know, be in a position, oh, I made you what you are. I made you who you are. And da-da-da. No. They're not going to take on that arrogant stance. Yes, they're going to pass down wisdom and experience, just like Derek Morgan did to this young boy. Before he went and confronted this man, he went and he had a talk with this young boy, and he let him know that I was you. And I know what's really going on. And you're not alone. And this is what you need to know. Letting him know that it's what's in your heart. It's what's in your heart that's going to get you out the hood. That's going to save your family. Not this man. Not this crooked man. No. This false leader, this false prophet. We got Samaritan behind that. Refines your energy. Refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Shadow attribute. Exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Yeah, that sounds like that man I just described. All right, and then we got child eternal. Light attributes. Determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit. Ability to see things with fresh eyes. Shadow attributes. Inability to grow up and be responsible. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. I feel like this is very straight to the point. Even this kind of gives a good example. This photo here of a divine guide. How a person who is truly a divine light, right? Having that position of leadership, how they should operate with others, right? So you see this person, being more progressed in their energy, right? In their wisdom, in their experiences, and they're flying, right? And, but this person also is flying. You get what I'm saying? And them kind of serving as a guide, to let this person know that they too can fly, right? as the butterflies. And another thing with these sunflowers here on the bottom, don't you know that when the sun goes away, that the sunflowers face one another? Because you know when the sun is out, the sunflowers face the sun. All sunflowers, they face the sun. But when the sun goes away, they face one another. That speaks volumes. And eternal, understanding the God that is within you, the eternal God, the eternal light that's within you as well. Right? And not having that extreme dependency on others for physical security. Inability to grow up and be responsible. Yeah, so oh my goodness. We got pioneer behind that. Light attribute. Passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. Shadow attribute. Compulsive need to keep moving on. What do you see in this photo? A beam of light. And what else do you see? The heart. So once again, like Derek Morgan told that young boy, it's your heart. It's what's within your heart, right? The light that's within you that's going to take you far. That's going to get you and exceed you out of these, these traumas like trauma transmutation and, dealing with whatever dark energies. But you have this light within you, right? You also have the light, to create, new things that are too of divinity, right? Being a pioneer, being a leader. This is also the energy that you have within you that you have to tap into. That, a person who's tapped into that, they can assist you in tapping into yours fully, right? But this is something that you must continue on. Because everybody is here for only a certain amount of time in the physical. So what are you going to do when that person leaves? When that person, what are you going to do? Are you just going to look for somebody else? Like how, the position that preachers take on, in these churches and Catholic churches. Are you going to just look for somebody else to place extreme dependency on? Instead of depending on the light within you? Depending on the Most High? We got the Exorcist on the bottom of the deck. Light attributes. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. Shadow attribute. Fear of facing your own demons. Three on the timer. Mind, body, and soul connection. Rapport with the divine. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. This is what a leader does, right? This is what a true leader does. And not only that, but encourages you to do the same. Because the thing about this life, you're going to always be a student to life. You're going to always be a student to life. Wow, that is beautiful. All right, so I'm just going to examine the next cards that was on the bottom of the deck. But you're always going to be a student to life, but at the same time, there's going to come a time when you're going to need to be a teacher as well. Once again, whether that's just over your family, your legacy, your siblings, whomever is put in a position or you're put in a position to be a leader over, right? So we have networker. Light attributes. Enhances unity through the sharing of information. Engenders social awareness and empathy. Shadow attributes. Conveys information only for personal gain. Spreads fear and falsehood. So I feel like that's You have your divine leader described in the light attributes, and then you have your adverse, your dark natured leaders described in the shadow attributes. Conveys information only for personal gain, spreads fear and falsehood. That sounds like that man that was, in the episode I was just talking about with Criminal Minds over the youth center. And then next to that we have angel. Recognizing the angel attributes within your own self. Light attribute, helping those in need with no expectation of return. What are your intentions? Are you able to discern other individuals' intentions? What are your intentions when you're receiving guidance, right? And information from these individuals. Shadow attributes, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Once again, I feel like, I love these cards because even with this message, it's like it's giving you very profound information regarding a divine leader opposed to a dark nature leader. And then we have damsel after that. Light attributes, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. Shadow attributes, waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. The fact that lover came out first, and then we got this, so romanticizing these individuals, but not healthily seeing these individuals as you should, right? Using that discernment, recognizing the God within them, right? Not worshiping the sun, but acknowledging and recognizing the source of light, that divine source of light that comes from the sun. That's reflected in the sun, but also reflected in the moon. Also reflected in people who lead in divinity, right? Who lead in truth and justice and balance and harmony. Instead of waiting for a knight to rescue you. A knight? Do you know what a knight is described as in regular tarot? You have your pages, your knights, your kings and queens, and then you have emperors, empress, hierophants, high priestess, high priest. Waiting for a knight to rescue you. And that's another thing I noticed too. Even with the story of Shrek and Fiona, we know how powerful Fiona was, and she was, a force to be reckoned with. She was definitely a force to be reckoned with. And, these traditions, trying to force these old traditions on her as if she must be rescued by a knight when she, in fact, can rescue her damn self. And had all that it took to rescue herself. And proved that when she kicked all them dudes' asses by herself. Damn near by herself. She proved that. And I talked about that. I also talked about that in my video, my DF video, Let Not Your Heart Be Troubled. Trusting your power or standing your power. And then we have addict behind that. Didn't I say idolatry is an addictive behavior? That extreme dependency on others for physical security. What card was that? Was it? What card was that? Yeah, the child in eternal. So that extreme dependency I don't know if you can see it because I got this sun shining on me. Extreme dependency on others for physical security. When you two can fly, you two can fly just as much as they can. All right, so addict, light attribute, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. Leaders help you recognize, acknowledge, and confront these behaviors, right? So that you can stand in your power. Shadow attributes, compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. I think this video is straight to the point. I'm going to pull a card from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by Kyle Gray and Lily Moses, the artwork illustrator. All right, Divine and Loving Ancestors, what messages do you have regarding this topic on leadership, divine leadership and idolatry? What messages do you have, Divine and Loving Ancestors? There's way too many cards falling out. But we have the Guardian Angel. You are not alone. So once again, what did I just say about what Derek Morgan told to that boy? Right? Whom he saw as a reflection of him, of his younger self. Right? You are not alone. These are what these leaders model to us. That you are not alone. Wise one. Grow within your current situation. Encouraging you to grow within your current situation. Right? Exacting, sharing this wisdom from their experiences so that you too can grow within your situation, right? Because you're not alone. You're not alone. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. So even that aspect of nature in this card, right? And look at the star that's within that apple. So recognizing the light, that God energy that's within, many things that are of the divine, right? But you wouldn't worship the apple. But you will appreciate the apple for the health that it provides you, right? For that vitality that it can add to you. But you don't worship the apple. Any more messages, Divine and Loving Ancestors, from this particular deck? Any more messages? Any more messages? We got Warrior. Be fearless and stand strong. Being that warrior of righteous rebellion, that's within you as well. And a warrior can either stand alone or with other righteous warriors. Having that balance. I just seen 4-4. So having that balance. And then trader, exchange energy to create abundance. 4-4 again. Once again, that balance, give and take, that equal give and take. This is how a divine light being, leader, this is how they operate. And this is how you should see them. I'm seeing a lot of green and blues as well as red. So the root chakra, the throat chakra, but also that water element and air element. Intuition, communication, expression, excitement. Intuition, emotional stability, creativity. But being mindful of what you're creating into your reality, right? And recognizing that purity that's within you. Once again, that light that's within you. And then even here, surrounding this feather, as it says at the bottom, you are not alone. You have the all-seeing eye, the third eye. There's a star in the middle. You have stars in the galaxy, the universe surrounding this. And then you have the sun symbol. And then you have the moon symbol. You are not alone. Nah. So once again, I cannot emphasize enough recognizing that divinity within yourself and not overemphasizing, you know what I'm saying, or worshiping, you know, just like how people do Beyonce. The way that people do Beyonce. As if she is the only one, you know what I'm saying, who can manifest, you know, the way that she manifests or whatever. And you don't even know the depths to how those things, of how she complete those manifestations. So there's that. But once again, you want people who are not so much in that leadership role when they feel like, who better than me? You know what I'm saying? Like, who... I just feel like leaders create leaders. Leaders create leaders. Once again, talking about that creative energy here, right? Exchanging energy to create abundance. Then we have warrior, right? Exchanging energy as a righteous warrior to create righteous warriors. And even with these stars here, you know, being connected with your soul tribe and your soul family of leaders, right? Or other people who will encourage you to stand in that leadership power. And no, not everybody is going to be leaders. No, not everyone is going to achieve this aspect. Not everybody, you know, is going to be leaders. But that's all because of what they choose and what they subscribe to. And these old traditions and, you know, these old addictive patterns and behaviors, right? That failure, you know, to transmute these energies. Of being dependent on, you know, someone, you know, that knight in shining armor or whatever. On a knight to come and rescue them. You know, Shrek is strong and whatnot, but Shrek got shot in the ass with an arrow. He wasn't able to do a whole lot, right? He wasn't able to do, him and Donkey, they wasn't able to do a whole lot without Fiona being there. Now, mind you, she was painted or people trying to project onto her or curse her into being that damsel in distress. And we already had the damsel card come out before. People were trying to, you know, create her to be something that she was not. Because they feared the light within her. They saw her power. They saw that she was a star seed. And she kicked, it was about 10 men? And she beat all their asses? And then just brushed it off like it won't nothing? That warrior energy? Surprised and shocked the hell out of Donkey and Shrek. And I think something significant, she said something around the lines of you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, or I don't know what she said. It was something along the lines of that. Or you shouldn't judge someone before you get to know them. I don't know, it's something like that. Something along those lines. But once again, overly fixating on the image opposed to the light, you know, the power, you know, the wisdom, you know, that divine, that divinity within that individual. Their heart, their courageous heart, their inner strength. Just like a lot of people misjudge Shrek in the movie. Just because of his outer appearance, because he wasn't that appealing, right? A lot of people judged him based on his appearance, when in actuality, he had a beautiful heart. But he was, he was bullied. He went through struggles and stuff with his own family. There was one portion he mentioned, have you ever had your father try to eat you? His father tried to eat him when he was a child. So he experienced, traumas, that shaped, his emotional behavior and how he viewed the world, and this, that, and put him in hermit mode, and this, that, and the third. But that didn't mean that he was a horrible person within. He just was in the energy of feeling the need to overprotect himself, because people proved him that they were going to judge him, from his outer appearance and not really get to know him. But Fiona, recognizing that light within him, she loved him and fell for him, you know what I'm saying, beyond his appearance, whether he was an ogre or not. And that's why she didn't give a damn about being an ogre or being her, human self or not. She didn't give a damn, because she understands that it's about what's inside that person. Recognizing that reflection of her within him, inside, internal, that God that's within. Understanding that rebel energy to stand for truth and what's right and justice. Avenger. On the bottom of the deck, we got Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. And look at this whole universe. You are a universe within yourself. Look at all these connected stars. These connections, right? Even the three wise men mentioned in biblical terms, following that source of light, that divine light, right? And recognizing the light within one another. Just using that as an example. Even, Jesus acknowledging that light within John the Baptist, right? That light is a recognition of the God within, that divine source that's within these people, that authentic light that's within, right? I really hope the message came out as clear as possible. And I love you guys. This is the Authentic Empress. And I'll see you guys next time.